I'll introduce you, and we'll just kind of go into it.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another basic podcast. We are here at Inner Jam down by the river, day 3. I'm holding on. We're going for it. We have John Cico, right? I got the last name?
Yep, that's it.
Awesome. How's everything going?
Oh, that's great. I mean, this place makes you feel welcome.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this all year.
Nice. And this is your first year playing, correct?
First year playing, yeah.
Did you come out last year?
Last year I showed up on a fluke. A friend of mine was supposed to play, and he didn't end up playing.
Yeah.
But we said, screw it, let's go. Me and my cousin came out, and we were just blown away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh, how does one get to play at this thing? And I just up and asked Dustin, and he was like, well, there's a jam at the end of the day, and come hang out.
Yeah.
And he was nice enough to actually, I don't know, just give a stranger a chance.
Yeah.
Like, that's so rare, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. It's I mean, that's kind of the vibe in this place.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, it's just kind of what it is. It's like that's how people get booked, is they go do one of the open jams or the open mics, and they just kind of hang out that first year, and then they're inducted for life, essentially. If they want to be, I should say.
Yeah, well, I guess I like it because it's just very come as you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are you based out of?
Right now I'm living in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
So, smack dab in the middle of nothing.
Nice. I've turned down a couple jobs there, so I know where Lafayette's at.
Yeah.
It's always so funny because it's like, I know a lot of people from Louisiana that, Louisiana, it's an easy trip to East and South Texas, and so I'm sure there's a lot of crossover there.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what are you working on right now musically? Are you writing, recording, promoting?
Right now, we just finished the last round of mixes on my first album.
Yeah.
Which I guess I've waited long enough to put that out. And that's going through the mastering phase right now, so I'm kind of getting the groundwork laid for that, and hopefully it'll be out end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And how many? It'll be a EP, LP?
It'll be an LP.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 8 tracks, so it's a short LP, but
an LP is an LP at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was gonna be an EP, and then just kept going. Well, this one should probably go on it.
Right.
This one should probably go on it. So
fair.
yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, once you really get into the weeds of everything, it's kind of like, oh, maybe I have a little bit more than.
Yeah. Well, it's always like, well, if we just do a little extra, and then,
Yeah, for sure. So with kind of all that in the works, where are you at show-wise right now? Are you playing? Obviously, you played here, but are you playing pretty consistently other than?
To be frank, not really. I mean, kind of like nobody knows about me outside of here, really.
How long have you been playing music?
I've been playing music since high school.
Mm-hmm.
I started writing in college. I just got very into Bob Dylan, and then Towns, and then everything else. So whatever that was.
Yeah.
2010.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay. You got into Bob Dylan in 2010. That's crazy. Like, you think about how long ago he was, like, and I mean, it's Bob Dylan, so he's constantly relevant all the time. So
yeah, it's hard to overstate how good he is.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I think besides maybe one or two other musicians, he is one of the most referenced, like, inspirations for musicians.
Yeah, well, I mean, he came in and really changed the game,
Yeah,
and you know, just by being a writer's writer.
yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah.
So we're here at In a Jam. How's your stay? Because you've been here since Thursday. You're one of the long haulers with us.
Yeah.
Are you staying till tomorrow as well, or
Yeah, I'm staying till tomorrow. I've got a little rig in
Okay.
the back of my truck. It's like a wood platform, and I keep all my stuff under it.
Yeah.
I got a camper shell, so I just crash in there.
So it's not necessarily comfortable, but it's better than sleeping on the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
better than sleeping on the ground. You know, at least you get another hour before the sun really
It rips in.
bakes you.
Yeah. That was the issue. The first year I had was it was really hot outside,
Yeah,
and I wasn't tent. I had a tent, but I decided not to tent camp because I was only staying one night, and I was like, I'm not setting my tent out for one night, so I just slept in my car. And by 6 a.m., I was just baking in the backseat of my car.
Oh.
Like, by the time that sun crested, I was already baking, and I'm like, okay, it's time to get up. It's 7 a.m. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 2 hours. But
7 a.m. I went to bed 2 hours ago.
yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it was. And it's like, I could turn the car on, I guess, if I really wanted to, but, so.
Yeah.
That's cool. So kind of looking forward as you prepare for the release of your album coming up. What's kind of running through your mind right now?
Just all the hope. I hope people like it, and I don't know. I'm excited to put something out, and just have a record
Yeah,
of it
yeah,
existing. It feels like I don't know. I've been writing for a while,
Yeah.
but I haven't been taking
yeah.
I don't know it seriously for that long.
What was the light switch from like not taking it seriously to, okay, I need to like really do something with this?
I used to work. I still work
Yeah.
in the film industry,
Okay.
doing like lighting for movies and TV and stuff.
You just opened up a whole different conversation. We'll jump into that in a second, but keep going.
And I was chasing down, I guess, some kind of success in that realm, and I kept passing all these like markers. Like I got to, I worked my first season of a TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, I gaffed something
Yeah.
that went to Sundance.
Yeah.
Did well. Like, oh, there's a write up in this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a cinematography award. But at the end of the day, you don't get to claim your work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not yours, and it just wasn't fulfilling, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. It's the film industry is one of the so I went to school, I studied film. Like I was sold on the idea of, okay, I'm going to get my college degree and then I'm going to move out to LA and like I'm going to do this whole thing.
Yeah. Can I ask where you went?
Southern Illinois.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was they had like a film program or whatever. So I did that there, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go out to LA. We're gonna take the city." Like all the delusional shit, right?
Yeah.
And not to be fair, I did have some friends that went out to California and they got on as like a gaffer or AC, like some level into the industry, and some of them are still in it. Some of them decided, screw it, it's not worth it, and I moved out to New Mexico. and I got involved in the film community out there, and I started doing like documentaries. I started doing like shorts and stuff like that, and because everybody was like, "Dude, they're opening a Netflix plant." I mean, I guess that's a very Freudian slip right there, but they're opening up a Netflix studio up in Albuquerque, and all that stuff's gonna fiddle down here. Like, so we need to make sure our people are ready to go, and we need to make sure we have our gear, so when they come down to shoot that Alien movie, we're good to go. They're not bringing in outsiders. And so I started investing in sound equipment. I started investing in a lighting rig. And once we realized that they were just coming to exploit the entire situation, that they didn't really give a shit about the local film community, like they gave a couple of people like some internship stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's a real race to the bottom with like
yeah,
the film tax credits and
yeah,
states and everything, and you know, Hollywood. Hollywood. Any
yeah,
big business really doesn't give a damn.
yeah.
It's about the bottom line.
Yeah. And I mean, out of all of them in that situation, I'm the one that probably did the least amount of work but got paid the most.
Ain't that the way it goes?
Because anytime that they had equipment fail or their equipment didn't come through, I was always able to kind of figure out how to put stuff together. Like I remember this one film that they did that after the first day, the sound guy quit. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm done."
Yeah.
And so they hired my buddy on to do the sound, or like the sound mixing, except he didn't have any equipment. And so we were just trying to jimmy rig the entire thing together. And the producer, or whoever was handling the finances for this film, calls me, is like, "Hey, I hear you got equipment. Can you help us?" I'm like, "Here's my rate." They're like, "Okay, cool." And it was basically $150 a day for a shitty shotgun mic that's been sitting in the attic for like 3 years, and
Right.
like a mix, or like a portable mixer. And they're like, "Okay, cool." Yeah.
That's I loved that part of just of working in the film industry is everything's held together with dollars and duct tape.
Yeah.
And but also especially if you're working on smaller things,
Yeah.
or you're in a smaller department,
Yeah.
like learning to be resourceful and just perform
Yeah.
on the spot,
Yeah.
problem solving like that.
Yeah.
That was really, really exciting.
Yeah.
I remember.
That was the sad part about the entire thing, because it actually had a pretty decent budget. They pulled it, like, I mean, it was like a Hallmark movie, so Hallmark, they turn those things out like every 2 weeks. I don't know how they do it, but they do.
It's grueling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it you've worked on some Hallmark stuff.
Not Hallmark specifically, but actually that's not true. Yeah, I did some Hallmark Christmas movies,
Yeah.
but I remember I worked on the German equivalent
Yeah.
of a Hallmark movie,
Okay.
which was shooting in Boston one time,
Fair.
and oh boy,
Yeah.
they really had it down to a science.
Yeah.
You got
I mean,
in there.
good
got
on
it
them.
done.
Like
Yeah.
100% good on them. But at the end of the day, is this even fun anymore? Like,
The answer is no.
Yeah.
I think everybody on that crew, I looked around and everybody was just getting through life. You go to work and then you drink yourself to sleep, and then you get up in 3 hours and you do it again.
yeah.
And I was seeing dudes who were like in their 60s, like still
Just grinding it
just
out.
grinding it out, and I mean, my hat's off to them.
Well, because it's like any other profession where you come in as an intern or like a PA or whatever, and you keep getting sold, okay, you just got to put in your hours. You got to keep putting in your hours. And as more people join the film industry, the more hours you got to put in. So you got these dudes that are 60-year-old camera assistants because they just haven't gotten that opportunity to be a camera op or whatever, and they're waiting for that one moment, thinking by the time I'm 65, I'm gonna get that camera op and I'm gonna be good. And it's like, no, that's a whole nother race to the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But so you're based out of Louisiana. How's the scene been doing there?
We've got a really good songwriting community. Like there's a surprising amount of talent for, kind of podunk town.
Yeah.
Not to knock Lafayette. I love Lafayette. But there's not a lot of places to play.
Yeah.
Even I think 2 years ago, it felt like we were playing all the time, and then for whatever reason, everything kind of dried up.
Yeah. Was that pandemic related, or was it more inflation and all that stuff?
I think it was inflation.
Okay.
I remember a lot of venues were suddenly very concerned about their bottom line.
Yeah.
And getting enough bodies just in.
Yeah, I feel that. It's hard out there, and hats off to anybody that can do it and continues to do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's doing it for the money.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I can't say nobody, but...
Right, fair enough. So if anybody wants to check out your music or any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
So for right now, I've got a few live performances up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to stay tuned for when my album drops or whatever, you can find me on Facebook, JOHNCICO. I'm on there. I'm on Instagram, JOHN_CICO. And I'll send out a blast whenever it's coming out.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate your time. It's been cool chatting with you. I know we conversed a little bit through email or whatever, and then when you said your name was John, I was like, it's got to be the John I've been talking to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all later.